First and foremost to the Border Gavaskar Trophy, where India are going to be starting the BGT series against Australia in Perth tomorrow. The visitors are well aware of the fact that only a dominant series and a dominant series win can propel them towards the World Test Championships final, soon to be taking place next year. After an unbelievable 0-3 humbling loss at the hands of New Zealand at home, India, who actually led in the series opener against Australia by Jasprit Bumrah, will be looking to bounce back against the Aussies down under, or underdogs should I say, in what will be their toughest test match this season, calendar season. Australia, on the other hand, are going to be looking for revenge after 2 continuous series losses against India at home and 4 overall in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Seeking revival after the drubbing against the Kiwis, India do need to win the series 4-0 at least to stay clear for their 3rd straight appearance in the ICC World Test Championship final. Virat Kohli, struggling to find his mid-ass touch, will be expected to shoulder the burden of India's inexperienced batting in the absence of Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. Now, Virat Kohli himself has been having a subpar run, if you know what I mean, with the bat this year, with 250 runs at an average of 22.72. That's it. But visitors will hope the 35-year-old can replicate the numbers from his last outing at the Optus Stadium in a test match. When India toured Australia back in 2018 and 19, Virat Kohli scored 123 runs and 17 in 2 innings in what was the first ever game at the stadium. India, however, went on to lose the test by 146 runs. But even as the conditions at Perth will be heavily loaded in favours of the Pacers, there will also be a heavy reliance on veteran spinner Nathan Lyon and R. Ashwin from respective sides, who have been the most successful bowlers for their respective teams in the Indian and Australian teams respectively. Now, Australia Test series with 121 and 114 wickets respectively, these 2 veteran spinners are going to be playing their respective cards. The seasoned duo has the ability to, of course, excel under any conditions. The BGT first match at Perth tomorrow on, who's going to come out on top. Very important for India to stay out on top to reclaim that position at the WTC finals for the 3rd very time. Now, set to lead India in a test match for the very first time, Jasprit Bumrah. He sounded excited about the special moment, which according to him is the greatest honour for a test cricketer. Jasprit Bumrah said that as a child he always wanted to play tests and he considered himself privileged enough to lead the national side now. He also talked about the impact of the whitewash in the 3-test home series against New Zealand and how India can bounce back down under.
We always believe and have confidence in our side whenever we play, whatever the situation might be. So yes, in terms of preparation, yes, we are in very good place. And then now it's all about being mentally switched on, and we are looking to do that, and then hopefully things will fall in place. Obviously, yes, we were disappointed and we were down that, we had a tough series last time, but we are not carrying any baggages. We come with a fresh mindset, different opposition, and you learn from the changes that has happened in our team. So yeah, we're not carrying any baggages from India, and we're full positive, and we're trying to put our best foot forward over here as well.
Well, now the long, lean patch of Virat Kohli, who could not even aggregate 100 runs in the 3 tests against New Zealand, is a worrying factor for India. But Jasprit Bumrah declined to read too much into that. About Kohli's form, the skipper said, and I quote, "I don't have to say anything about Virat Kohli, the batter. I have made my test debut under him. I don't need to give him any kind of special inputs, and he is the utmost professional you have in our team, and he is one of the leaders out there." So Jasprit Bumrah, the skipper for the first match in Perth in the absence of Rohit Sharma, is well backing Virat Kohli, who's not having that purple patch that he's usually used to. But Australia, led by Pat Cummins, are of course determined to add the elusive Border Gavaskar Trophy to their rich cabinet. A test series win over India would prove the icing on the cake for the Australian side, who in recent years have stepped up and done well, according to the 31-year-old Pat Cummins, who also captains the country in the one-day cricket format. He and a number of his teammates have only experienced defeat in the last 4 test series against India, and the odds are in their favour as well this time around, as the Indian side sees injuries decimate their ranks. as veteran captain Rohit Sharma takes leave from the series to take care of his newborn baby as well. Congratulations to him. In his place, 30-year-old pace spearhead Jasprit Bumrah. He's going to be captaining the side, like I just mentioned, in Perth. Pat Cummins, his counterpart, and his team are a determined lot to have a winning start in the favourable conditions in Perth.
Yeah, I think for about half the change room we haven't won the Border Gavaskar, so it's kind of one of the last things to tick off, I think, for a lot of us. I also think, we've almost every challenge that we've had thrown at us over the last few years, we've stepped up and done well. I think to do that for another year, another home summer, would kind of cement this rather than just being a 2 or 3 season thing. It's suddenly into a half generation thing. So. Yeah, we're all excited. We know India are right up there with one of the best teams in the world, so we're excited. Look, I think you always, make plans for kind of a whole squad. I think with most test teams, especially India, you've got a lot of depth. Most of us have played IPL and seen how many newcomers come in and kind of step up straight away. So, they're missing a couple of guys we're more familiar with, but we know whoever they pick is going to be, well, they obviously think they're good enough for test cricket, so.
Well, now, the surface at the Optus Stadium or at the nearby Waka ground is known for its pace and bounce. And when the cracks open up in dry conditions, it does provide more assistance to the seamers besides bringing the spinners into the play. In such a scenario, an unseasonal rain is likely to offer some respite to India as they deal with the Australian pace battery. The unusual rain in Perth, according to the Waka curator Isaac MacDonald, has impacted the pitch preparations for the first test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. But the curator also is not much concerned about it. He said, and I quote, "Yeah, it's definitely not a traditional Perth test preparation yesterday. On Tuesday, we pretty much lost the whole day of preparations with it being under the cover," of course, talking about the pitch. So we kind of saw the forecast early on, and we started preparing a little bit earlier than we normally would have. So we're sitting quite comfortably still. It would be nice if the sun would pop out and do its job, but as of Wednesday morning, we're in a good spot. We're a really comfortable side as a curating team, and the pitch is likely to retain moisture here at Perth at the Optus Stadium, effectively ruling out the possibility of a major deterioration over the course of the 5 days. He also went on to add that I don't think the weather is going to make this pitch fall apart per se. There will be some deterioration. Grass will stand up during the game and offer that variable bounce. But in terms of the big snake, Waka cracks, unfortunately, I don't think the weather is going to get us there, said the head curator, Isaac MacDonald. Now, the forecast is clear for Friday, November 22nd, 2024, the first day of the test game, as well as the remaining 4 days. But the temperatures are likely to increase drastically. That could add a little bit of a different factor over there, won't you say? Meanwhile, stand-in skipper Jasprit Bumrah and the Gautam Gambhir-led think tank are likely to spring a few surprises with their choices for the playing 11 for the Perth Test. India compelled to start the 5-test Border Gavaskar Trophy series without regular skipper Rohit Sharma, who had to stay back for the birth of his second child, and opener Shubman Gill, who was ruled out with an injury sustained during practice in run-up to the Test series. In such a scenario, KL Rahul is one name. He is expected to open the innings with Yashasvi Jaiswal, with Devdutt Padikkal stepping in for Gill in the number 3 position. All eyes, of course, will be on Virat Kohli in the number 4 position and will be aiming to overcome the prolonged rough patch. In form, wicketkeeper and batter Rishabh Pant is set to bat at his designated number 5 position, and a second wicketkeeper in the squad, Dhruv Jurel, is set to make the cut purely for his batting abilities to fill the number 6 position. Young all-rounder Nitish Kumar Reddy is also expected to earn his test cap as an all-rounder. He, if picked, will bat at number 7, followed by Ravichandran Ashwin to be India's sole spinner for the match. Usually Ravindra Jadeja has been India's first choice spinner for overseas assignments, but this time it's Ashwin. Ashwin is expected to make the cut. This time Jasprit Bumrah, the skipper for the match, will lead the pace trio, which will also comprise Mohammad Siraj and Akashdeep. So the Indian 11 to be led by Bumrah may look like Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul, Devdutt Padikkal, Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Jurel, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Ashwin, Mohammad Siraj and Akashdeep. Now, Jasprit Bumrah in his pre-match press briefing ahead of the first match of the BGT series. Mind you, he's the skipper because Rohit Sharma has to stay back due to the birth of his second child. Has almost confirmed Nitish Reddy's participation in the first test. In the pre-match press conference, India's stand-in captain said, and I quote, take a look at this. He said, Nitish Reddy is quite talented and we are positive about him. You have seen him in the IPL also. He believes in his game. The best thing about youngsters in our team is that when you talk to them, no one looks confused. Overall, he wants responsibility and wants to be thrown at the deep end of the pool. The skipper for the first game, of course, backing Nitish Reddy's selection, almost hinting at his selection, if one would like to put it that way. Well, shifting our focus here to the world of football, because Germany have kept alive their hopes of winning in the Davis Cup, beg your pardon, this is the world of tennis, for the first time in more than 3 decades with a win over Canada that they did yesterday. We've got a Jen Leonard Struff who rallied to defeat a Denis Shapovalov 4-6, 7-5 and 7-6. And, of course, clinched the victory in the second singles match of the quarterfinals after Daniel Altmaier had given Germany the first point with a 7-6, 6-4 win over Gabriel Diallo. Germany, who were without world number 2 Alexander Zverev, avenged their 2022 quarterfinal loss to Canada on Friday. Germany will next face the Netherlands, who defeated Spain earlier on for a spot in the final. Now, the Dutch defeated fancied Spain 2-1 on Tuesday in a tie that marked Rafael Nadal's retirement from professional tennis. Germany had last played the Davis Cup semi-finals in 2021. They haven't won the prestigious men's team tennis event since their third title triumph back in 1993. And Canada's lone Davis Cup title came in 2022 when Struff also defeated Shapovalov in the 3 sets in the quarterfinal round. In the last 2 quarterfinals this year, the United States are drawn against Australia and defending champions Italy are up against Argentina. Both ties are slated to take place later today.